Blog Talk Radio.
Following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. The 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Hollywood, Florida, with your host and hostess, Mark Angelo and Jessica Lynn Cummings. Show for trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Transition Radio. We've had 2 days off. We're nicely refreshed. Hope you've had a wonderful weekend. Tonight we have a special guest. His name is Thomas Philip Moore II. He's an American female-to-male transsexual who began transitioning in the late 1990s. He underwent hormone therapy and surgery. He opted for a gender reassignment procedure that removed his reproductive organs, and in 2002, he was legally recognized as a man.
In 2006, when Thomas's mother, Karma, became ill with thyroid cancer, he quit his job in graphic design in San Francisco, California, and moved home to care for his dying mother. After his mother passed away in 2007, Thomas adopted 2 boys, Greg, now 15, and Logan, 13, and took on rebuilding his mother's home.
Thomas says, I think for me it was about loving her, about finding peace with losing this woman that I have cared for and loved so deeply. Over the next few years, Thomas' business, True Colors Graphic Design, is born, and he marries his 2-year partner, who is pregnant with her son, Miles.
We really wanted a large family, someone to pass my family home on to share my family's traditions with. Family is so important for me. I think it was because growing up, I really never had one. A neighbor tells the story of the pregnancy and their lives from the point of change forever. The marriage ended in divorce, with Thomas having to pay child support, even though the state of New Mexico did not recognize his marriage.
Thomas is also the founder of Pinkerton Foundation, designed to help homeless pet owners care for their pets. He's also the author of his book, which he's hoping to release in 2013, A Man Like Me. He sees a need to help today's transgender community by embracing the idea of self-love and acceptance.
Thomas is currently finishing up his BA in Criminal Justice Administration and hopes to sit for the LSAT in 2013 so that he can attend law school to specialize in LGBTA family law.
And welcome to the show, Mr. Thomas Moore. There we go. Thomas, are you on?
Hey, yeah, I'm here. How is everybody tonight?
We're doing great. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing pretty good. Well, it's really cold because I'm actually sitting outside. I'm soaking wet. The Pinkerton Foundation assisted with 88 Chihuahuas that were taken from a hoarder here in California. So we've been bathing dogs for the last 3 hours.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's yeah. You're a good man, Tom. Good man. That's all I can say. Tom, we lined up some questions for you, but we also encourage the callers to call in during the end of the show And then, the time permits, we could have some more deeper conversations about certain things. And if it's something that you wanted to discuss, please feel free to. Question number 1 for you, Tom, is do you feel that your journey has been a learning tool for enlightenment and spiritual growth?
I think the transition, honestly, is something that I wish every guy could go through. The reason that I say that is because I've grown so much as a human being over the last 12 years. I think I've learned a lot more about myself than had I just been born male.
I relate to that tremendously. I feel the same way. To me, it's been a great honor to have gone through this journey, because I'm sure you feel the same.
As has it for me. So my question for you, Tom, do you regret any of your life choices? And if so, which one?
That's a really hard one. I look back at a letter I recently wrote to my father. We've had kind of a very rough relationship ever since I made the announcement that I plan to transition. And I asked him once if he ever had regrets in life, and he said, I have no regrets. And looking at my life, I don't regret being transgendered at all. I think it's been a gift and a journey that I had to walk to not only learn who I was, but how to be a good father and a good male role model to my boys, because I never had that myself. So I don't think I really have any regrets other than probably the relationship between my youngest son and I.
Right.
If you could change anything about your life, what would that be?
Wow, that's a hard one. I think for me, mostly it evolves around my family. Making the choice to transition was really hard. My mom, I grew up in a very Catholic household with my mom, and, her side of the family is very Roman Catholic and have very strong traditional Catholic religious beliefs. Whereas on my father's side, he is a gay man himself with a partner of 30 years, he's Jewish, and his family has a very strong opinion. So for me, I think I would change the family dynamics in the hope that they might have a little bit more understanding. I think a lot of trans men and women out there have family that, one, they just absolutely will not try, and then the ones that pretend to be there for you, but really they're talking about you and they're very negative about you behind your back. Very few trans men and women that I've met have strong supporting families.
Yes, I am well aware of that one.
And what do you think that is, Tom? I want to add a little bit to that. What do you think that...
It's one of those things, my mom, before she passed away, she got very sick. And over that year or so that I had with her, where it was very one-on-one care, where her good Catholic son was not there for her, but her black sheep, as she often referred to me, was always there. My mom was extremely abusive as a child because I didn't fit those gender norms. I wasn't the little girl that she wanted that liked pink frilly dresses. I was stealing my brother's G.I. Joe and getting very, very dirty in the backyard. And we really changed our relationship as she got older. She learned to accept me, and because she saw me and saw that I was happy, I wasn't this depressed, suicidal teenager anymore. I was a happy, genuinely happy guy. And at that point, I'd already had the boys in my life, and she was watching me be a father to my sons. And one of the last conversations that her and I had was, she called me up, and we figured it's probably within the last few hours before she died. She called me up, and she said, I'm really proud of you, Tom. I'm proud of the man that you've become. I'm proud of the son that I have in you. I'm proud to watch you be a father to your sons, and I don't want you to ever forget that. Forget everything I've ever said to you, and just remember how proud of you I am right now.
So at least she made peace, and in your heart, at least I feel that you helped her grow.
I watched her grow, especially because the last few months she got to meet a lot of young trans men and women. I inflicted her on many of them because I was a support system for them. And she actually developed really good friendships with them and was a very strong supportive. She took on like a mother role with them. So I think that my transition not only helped me grow as a person, but really helped her grow in those final hours.
Definitely. Okay. You've had some health issues for a while now. Do you feel the medical community has failed you?
To be honest with you, I think the medical community, American modernized medicine, is just completely lost. You know, a very good friend of mine, my doctor here, Dr. Brian, he admits that they don't even go through nutrition classes. You know, they're not, and that's the thing. Your nutrition is all part of who you are. You know that saying you heard from your mom. You know, you are what you eat. It's the truth, but we don't hear it because American medicine is, oh, you have indigestion, here's a pill. Not stop eating spicy food, stop eating acidic food. Here, have a pill. And it really complicates it when you're an FDM or an M to F or anywhere in the gender spectrum in between, is that they focus on that trans identity and their awkwardness around it, because as many of us as there are out there in the world, very few doctors have treated more than one ever. You know, maybe more so in the metropolis areas, but even when I lived in the Bay Area, because I had private health care, my doctor had never treated a transgendered person. So in a lot of ways, yeah, the medical community continues to fail trans men and women every single day, especially in my case. They were so focused on, you know, not knowing what to do with doing my hormones correctly, that they missed a lot of other things that were going on. So, and then some doctors are just so uncomfortable with it that they avoid having any real conversation with you to even understand what's the big picture. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
You know, they're so focused on, you know, well, why did you make this? Every time I go to a new doctor, why did you make this decision? Well, I didn't feel comfortable in my skin. Well, couldn't you have gone on some type of psychiatric med to help with that? Been there, done that. You know, so many times I've heard of especially young FDMs. I work with a lot of FDM youth where they're suicidal. And it really does come down to, I either have to transition or I'm going to kill myself. There's no in between. There's no middle ground. It either has to happen or I'm going to die. I can't take it anymore. And that's the thing that most doctors, they don't get it. They're constantly, here, have another pill. Take this pill. This will help. No, it won't. This isn't going to make me. Yeah, it's not going to make me better.
That would be my question to the doctor. Can't you give me a pill for it?
Well, a wonderful thing that my father's partner of 30 years said to me, he's a lot more accepting of my transition. And he said to me, you know, if there was a pill out there that would make me straight, I would take it. And the truth of the matter is if 12 years ago, when it came to that point of I have to transition or I'm going to kill myself, if there would have been a pill out there to make me normal, I'd have been the first one grabbing it. Because
I would have been, yeah.
Other than the beauty of us is that we are who we're meant to be, and if people study our history in Indian tribes, and we are normal. We are that variation of nature, and we were placed here to be able to teach unconditional love and to challenge certain beliefs of certain people. And
that's absolutely true, Mark. And the thing is if you look back 12 and 13 years ago, I mean, the growth in the education around transgender issues and gender issues in general in the last 12 years is absolutely remarkable. Whereas for me, the first transgender person I ever saw was a guy or girl on, I think it was Jerry Springer, and she was someone's father, and she transitioned to female and decided she'd made the mistake and transitioned back to male and then was turning back into a woman. And it was shown as a freak. It was shown as an oddity. It was shown as this negative thing. So for people like us are looking at this going, oh, my God, this is how society sees me. And that's why when I made the statement, if I could have taken a pill, at that time I would have. Looking back now, I'm proud of who I am. I am a very strong, independent father, and I'm glad I made the decisions that I made.
I was reading some of the, going through some of the articles that were written about you and Scott, what's his name? Scott. And some
Scott.
of the forum, some of the forum people weren't very nice to the things they were saying about me. And it just eats me up that society is so ignorant and they have to place such judgment without knowing a thing about it. They just talk out of their backside. It's
extremely the case, too. When Scott was pregnant, we had a really horrible time. In my small town of Wheat, California, when we first found out we were pregnant, it was a very positive experience. We had no problem finding an OB, and this was surprising. We're talking 3,000 people and less, okay? We were the gays, and we were okay with it because we had a wonderful support system. And when we moved to New Mexico to be near Scott's family, we could not find an OB that would take on our case. We had to go to a local midwife, and she could not deliver Miles because we could not get a local OB to sign off and say that Scott wasn't a high-risk case because he was F to M. So we actually had to move all the way back to Weed in order for Miles to be delivered by a doctor. I mean, that's how ridiculous. And Miles is a beautiful, healthy, just happy baby, was healthy from the get-go, scored, 10s on all the post-birth scoring. I mean, he was just perfect. And it just goes to show that just because your packaging on the outside is different than what we as a society are used to doesn't mean that we can't not only create life and beautiful life, but that we can be a strong and supportive family, because we did everything that we could to make sure that Miles had a healthy birth, and the medical community did nothing for us.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing. They take an oath before they become doctors to do no harm, to protect and heal us. And that's the furthest thing that they do, which is, I want to say, shame on them. Thomas, I'm going to ask you, what are your strengths and your weaknesses? Start off with your strengths.
Well, with my strengths, one of the things that I define myself as a dad. I didn't know getting into this. Having Logan and Greg in my life was a surprise. It wasn't something I planned. But being a father has redefined me as a human being. And so that being a father is one of my greatest strengths. Another thing is that my willingness to change. Life for me is a constant journey. Although I don't plan to go any further with any more surgeries than I've already had, I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey to be not only physically but mentally healthier than I've ever been. And I'm already there, but I'm getting better every day. And so that I think my willingness to continue to change is one of my greatest strengths.
What would be your weakness, if you have one?
I think for my weakness is that I desire to be what everybody sees as normal, while still continuing to be myself. It's very hard to go into a PTA group, for instance, and I'm living in the community where I grew up, and them know who I was, and am still defined as who I was. There's a lot of whispering and a lot of different things like that. So it's really hard for me, and my greatest weakness is that I'm constantly trying to conform to fit in. And I think that that's the case with a lot of trans people today, is we're constantly trying to conform to fit in.
Yes, it is. It's part of the journey and growth, spiritual growth, that eventually we get to the point where you'll know that you're all right, and it doesn't matter what other people think. They're the problem, not you.
Exactly. I have a question for you, Sam. What advice do you have for those individuals who are facing the same challenges as you?
Never give up. All too often you're hearing, this young trans person, this young gay person committed suicide. There's going to be, I think, where everybody goes through a period where they just don't feel like they can go on. My father once told me, he says, it's not a path I would have chosen for you. It's not an easy path, but it was a righteous path for me. And that if you walk the walk and you do your journey, you're going to find that you're going to learn those lessons that you're meant to learn as you do this. So just don't ever give up.
Great advice. And in saying that, you've contacted me to help you. I don't know how much you want to talk about your health issue, but I wanted to ask you, the program that I've put you on, has it been helpful thus far? And do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I actually do want to talk about it. What's going on for me right now is I've been diagnosed with that I'm no longer in remission for retinal cancer. It's not operable. I went through a treatment program last year in the state of Massachusetts where I not only did their experimental program, but I also did 6 months of juice fasting. And amazingly enough, I was blessed with being in remission. Once I was diagnosed in remission, I immediately moved home. I did not want to stay in Massachusetts. But I was recently diagnosed, showing that I am no longer in remission, and so that the fight is back on, and I'm ready to go for it. This time I've chosen that I'm not going to go through modern medicine. I really feel like what really boosted me and helped me heal before was the juice fasting program. But it was really hard on me because I didn't really have a lot of people out there, and I didn't have a good nutritionist. And so this time I reached out to my friend Mark, who I'm talking to today, because I've watched him in his incredible health journey and his food journey. And it wasn't so much more the dietary aspects of it as the support system and the guy that knows what he's talking about because he's been there and he's done that. And for me, I've been doing it for 8 days. I've lost 14 pounds, which I'm all gung-ho for. But on top of that, I had a spider bite this summer on my upper forearm, and it swelled up about the size of a golf ball, and they lanced it and it was horrible. And it had this horrible purple scar in the spot. And Mark, I should send you pictures because it's really awesome. This morning I get up, the purple is completely gone. The hard thickness that was there, the scarification, the scar tissue that was there from all the poking and draining and different things that went on is gone. It almost looks completely normal, which I was told that the only way I would get rid of that would be through surgery. So just in 8 days, it can show you how much your body can heal by just taking all the garbage out of your food and just completely cleansing yourself.
And I'm a big believer in that. I've been preaching it for the longest time, and I truly believe in it. And I know that the power of food and the power of positive thinking, the power of love, has so much strength to heal us and to make us better people. Definitely. And I'm honored that I'm walking this walk with you. And definitely, I'm lost for words, but.
And congratulations on the loss of 14 pounds. That's awesome.
I'm completely thrilled with it.
Say that again, Tom?
Oh, I said I'm completely thrilled with it. Just the whole experience. And it's funny, is I actually had a conversion. I went to my internet company to pay my bill, and the gal was like, "God, you look fantastic. What's going on?" And I told her, the whole details of what I was doing, and she was so excited about it that she sent me a text message today and said, "I went and bought a juicer, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to juice fast for 10 days and see how I feel." So now I'm going to be her support system as she does this.
Awesome.
That's excellent.
That's all about.
Yeah, passing it along.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you, Tom. Definitely.
Me too. I have one last question for you, Tom. Explain your life philosophy and how it has helped you overcome the many obstacles you have faced.
Well, I have 2 philosophies to life, actually 3. One is keep moving forward. No matter how bad it gets, keep moving forward because it's going to get better. The second one is stay positive. find that one positive thing in 50 negative things and keep trugging, it'll get you through every time. But the most important thing to me is don't be afraid to show your true colors. Cyndi Lauper's my girl. I love her to death, and that song just hit so far home for me because that's one of my greatest challenges all through my childhood. I came out as a lesbian when I was 12. I announced that I was going to transition when I was 16 and started when I was 18. I made those choices because I knew what I was on the inside, and I knew what my colors look like, and they are beautiful, and that there is a rainbow inside all of us if we let people see it. Not only can we be an inspiration, but we can be a helping hand.
Exactly. We are angelic beings.
That's really it. And I believe we're here to help people heal, to help people evolve. And we need to shine our light, and we need to show our true colors. That's definite.
Exactly.
Anything else you wanted to add? Anything I promoted your book a little bit. You want to talk a little bit about your book? We've got 3 minutes and 49 seconds left. Or is anything else that you have in the works?
The book, A Man Like Me, is pretty much a bibliography of my journey, from where I've been to where I am now and where I'm going. I thought it was really important to write it, mostly because you don't see a lot of books and a lot of information out there for trans parents. For me, my struggle with my now ex over the situation with our son Miles. You know, I love my son and I miss him very much, and the courts denied me any parental rights to see him, yet the courts also ordered that I pay child support every month, which I have no problem with because he's my son and I'm there for him. So the book is there to not only support young FDMs, older FDMs, but the whole trans community, as well as, you know, there's quite a bit of information about gender advocacy, family law when you're dealing with LGBT community type issues there. I've had a few people read what I have and they love it. So we're looking to finish up here at the end of the year. We've got a couple of companies in line for possible publishing. We're always welcome to anybody that has any suggestions for that.
Anything else you wanted to talk about your services, if anybody wanted to reach you?
Well, you can always reach me. You know, my email is tpmoore629@yahoo.com. I also do website design, graphic design. Some legal aid assistance is also there for the community, as well as I'm always here. The Pinkerton Foundation, you can always reach me through that email as well if you are looking for assistance for any of your friends that may be homeless and have pets, or if you just need support. If you're out there and you're alone and you're worried or you're scared or you're suicidal or you're depressed, there is somebody here. I'm always there to help a brother or sister out.
That's very fantastic. Yes. Well, we got 90 seconds left of the show. It's been a pleasure, and it's a pleasure to be walking with you through this health journey. And if any of those people that you're helping out need any specifics, send them my way. And I'll be speaking to you soon. And thank you for being on our show.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
You're welcome, and we will have Skype open at 11:45 if anybody wants to chime in on Transition Radio on Skype and has any questions for Tom or wants to get into the group conversation. Just give us a call.
All righty, and we're going to end it with I Choose Life, since this is an appropriate song. Tom has been faced with a lot of situations, but he chooses to live. And here's a song for you, Tom. Love you, buddy. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
We love you, too.
And have a great night.
If you had a choice between living and dying, if you had a of the two would you rather choose? What kind of choices would you tend to make? I choose life and I choose love. There's no other way around it. It's the only choice I've got. Escojo vida, escojo amor. Quiero poder vivir mi vida sin temor y sin rencor. Quiero reír, quiero llorar. Quiero poder vivir mis sueños sin tener que lamentar. Vivir, amar. Qué rico se siente esto de verdad. Un paso pa'lante, un paso para atrás. Mueve la colita, mueve la mamá. Manos para arriba, manos para atrás. Darte una vuelta y échate para atrás, para atrás. We are being faced with many things in life. The challenges are getting harder all the time. Do you feel you need someone who really cares? Just look deep inside you, you'll find you're always there. I choose life and I choose love. There's no other way around it. It's the only choice I've got. Escojo vida, escojo amor. Quiero poder vivir mi vida sin temor y sin rencor. Quiero reír, quiero llorar. Quiero poder vivir mis sueños sin tener que lamentar. Vivir, amar. Qué rico se siente esto de verdad. Un paso pa'lante, un paso para atrás. Mueve la colita, mueve la papá. Manos para arriba, manos para atrás. Date una vuelta y échate para atrás, para atrás. Will you forgive me for telling you the truth? Run away from things that clearly isn't you. The life you set for yourself has damaged you within. There is no other path but love being what there is. I choose life and I choose love. There is no other way around it. It's the only choice I've got. Escojo vida, escojo amor. Quiero poder vivir mi vida sin temor y sin rencor. Quiero reír, quiero llorar. Quiero poder vivir mis sueños sin tener que lamentar. Vivir, amar. Qué rico se siente esto de verdad. Un paso pa'lante, un paso para atrás. Date una vuelta, coge la mamá. Manos para arriba, manos para atrás. Date una vueltica y échate para atrás.